everyone, welcome to Week in Geek. This is where Geek Bomb likes to talk about the things that have happened during the week in the world of geek, whether it falls under video games, movies, comics, news, you name it, we go there. On the panel today, we like to keep it nice and within the Bomb Squad. We've got Taz Pants and Boy Bomb!
I'm here.
First time.
I'm here. My face.
Boy Bomb has a face. He's a real person. This is the first time I've actually seen him. So it's so great to see you. Hi, Toby.
Hello.
How much does he look like Theon?
You look like Theon Greyjoy, and all I want to do is phallic things. So with my meatballs, I just want to do things like that.
That's weird.
Because you don't have a penis. So, hold on. Because this is the first time that you're doing a video stream, Toby, did you just want to say a little bit about yourself?
Okay, I'm Toby. I'm into all things gaming, geeky. My favorite kind of things are third-person shooters. I play a lot of FIFA, as Tara knows, and
Don't talk about FIFA.
I'm a bit of a superhero nerd. Spider-Man's my fave.
And you actually wrote up a review about Spider-Man, which you can catch at geekbomb.net. Can I just say I'm so glad that finally we can get someone to review FIFA because it was never going to be me.
Yeah,
That's
I'm happy
true.
to do it now.
And also on the panel for Week in Geek, we are talking all things movies this particular week. We have Alicia Malone.
Hello, how are you?
Well, I don't know if you're talking to us or if you're talking to everyone else who's
Talking
watching.
to
Both?
I mean, I know how you are, Maude, because we're in the same hotel. We're just on different levels.
Yeah.
Taz and Toby, hope you're well, and everyone out there, hope you're good.
Now, Alicia Malone is the creator of Malone's Movie Minute. You can catch that at malonesmovieminute.com. She also is one of the panelists and faces of AMC, which is a weekly movie show that you can catch at AMC Movie Talk, and that's at a YouTube channel as well that you can subscribe onto. And Alicia, you've been busy. You've been doing a lot of things. You want to talk about what you've been up to lately? Fill everyone in.
Yeah, well, so as well as working on AMC Movie Talk, which is really fun, a couple of times a week to talk about all the movie news that's happening, I've also been, I've got my own show on Bite Size TV, which is fun. I do podcast on Malone's Movie Minute, and I've been doing a lot of interviews today. Both me and Maude were talking to the cast of The Fault in Our Stars, very weepy movie which Maude cried throughout. I did.
My favorite part is every time I walk into an event cinema, it's just like a giant, your face. Your face is just giant on the wall.
Yeah, so I do a lot of interviews for Australia TV and event cinemas, and that's the one that everyone seems to see me on. So if you're going to event cinemas,
it's literally every time. Yeah.
It's terrifying. I thought,
and it's a huge screen, so like you're twice the size of everyone else. It's great.
Scary. I always thought it was silent, that there was no sound, but no, apparently there is sound. You can hear me.
Oh, really? I've never heard any sound. But...
Not just a pretty face, Leash. You have a pretty voice as well. So we are going to talk about all things movies, all things games. Obviously, the big pieces of news that we're going to delve into. The Justice League movie news has been announced. The Star Wars cast has been announced. We're going to have a bit of a review on the movie Bad Neighbours with Seth Rogen and Zac Efron. And we want to talk to you guys. So if you are watching, please comment below, get interacting with us. We will constantly be going back to the feed so that your voice is heard, because that's what we do at Geek Bomb. Alicia, thing off with you really quickly, because you are the movie guru. Can you give us 5 things you have frozen and you can't hear?
Yeah.
Oh, there
Okay,
you're back.
Can you hear me now?
You're back. Hello.
Okay. Yeah.
Alicia,
It's
what's going on?
for a second. It was you
We're all
going.
laughing at you. Yeah. What do you do?
Are we all in the same time now? I think there's some delay. Everyone froze.
Oh, great. So your 5 bits of movie news.
Oh yes, 5 bits of movie news.
Can you hear me? Yep.
Yes, I can. Can you hear me now? Have we caught up? Hopefully we have. I'll just keep going. So my 5 bits of movie news is number 1, of course, the cast for Star Wars Episode 7 was announced. Finally, we got a piece of news. from this movie, which is exciting, and we'll delve into more of that later. Number 2, Justice League movie was announced as being number 3. So there was Man of Steel, then there will be Batman vs Superman, which is the Man of Steel sequel. Then there'll be Justice League, and it was also announced that there'll be 11 DC films altogether, so 9 more besides those. And number 3, really sad news with the passing of Bob Hoskins. He died at age 71. Yeah, that was very sad news. He will always be remembered to me as Eddie Valiant from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which introduced me to my first girl crush ever, Jessica Rabbit, who I'm trying to emulate a little bit with the red hair.
For me, it would have to be Smee from Hook, because Hook was one of the first movies that I saw in the cinema, and it's like the little scorpion that goes in the treasure trunk, and he's like, "Moo!" I liked him.
Yeah. He had so many great roles, so he leaves behind a legacy of film, but yeah, really sad news. Number 4, Baz Luhrmann is in talks to direct an Elvis Presley biopic. I think this is a good choice because Baz is a very theatrical director, so he'll definitely be able to bring out the flashy side of Elvis. I just hope that he doesn't, cram too much in like he did with Great Gatsby, and the darker moments of Elvis's life, it has a little bit more time to breathe, because I think he's just too busy on flash, and it's too much for me in Great Gatsby.
Epic. I know. A lot of people saying, you know what, with Moulin Rouge, you put in all of these songs that weren't even indicative of the era. You wanted to make a musical montage and take it out of that time. You just can't mess around with Elvis's song library,
Yeah, you definitely can't, but I think because he's so great at these big musical moments, that's why it's a good choice, in my opinion. And number 5, can you believe it's been 10 years since Mean Girls?
I feel really old.
I feel really old too. I feel extra old than you do, Maude, because I am older.
Can we please, and I know Tara gets in on this as well, and it makes me the happiest person when she does this. Ready? Glen Coco!
Glen Coco!
You go, Glen Coco!
And none for Gretchen Wiener. It's the best, and it's amazing that 10 years on, it still works. It's still funny. It's still relevant, and I think Tina Fey just did such a great job with that film. So there you go. That's my 5 bits of movie news, and we'll be delving into more of that bit later on.
Absolutely. The next game that we're going to play, and guys, I really do encourage you all to play it because, it lets everyone know where you're at with what you're watching, what you're playing, what you're reading. So we call the game Power, PWR, playing, watching, reading. We'll go through the panel. I'll kick things off. I am playing Elder Scrolls Online again. I'm in New York. Like Alicia and I are here working in New York. I had the afternoon off, and I played on my computer.
Yeah,
and like
Saturday afternoon.
Outside. It looks great, and I should probably go, but I didn't. Elder Scrolls Online. I am watching movies, lots of movies. Alicia and I both saw Bad Neighbours and Fault in Our Stars, so that's what I've been watching. And I have been reading. I want to show you, but it's now my okay, all right. This bad boy. The Lives of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch, and we've got exciting news about this particular book, which is why I'm trying to read it as quickly as possible. So keep your ears, eyes, everything, likes, subscriptions, all glued to Geek Bomb. All right, Tazzy, you are next. Let's have a little go of Power.
I feel like it hasn't changed since last week. I'm still playing. No. Do we really? Nothing?
It does this from time to time.
Go to Alicia.
You were banished. Oh gosh, if anyone can get what that's from, this is like going really, really old school. It is a VHS board game, and in it they say, you were banished. If you know what it is, I will send you a Geek Bomb t-shirt. Comment below, what is that from? Because I don't think anyone will get it.
You can Google that.
No idea.
Alicia?
What am I playing, watching, reading?
I can't hear you either.
Hello?
Maybe it's just, I can hear all of you guys.
No.
Yeah.
Can anyone hear anything?
Alicia, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so it's Maude.
You can hear.
It's just Maude.
It's just Maude.
We're fine. It's just you.
So I will say what I'm playing, watching, reading.
Can everyone hear everyone else?
Yeah.
So I am, I'm not a gamer, so I'm not really playing anything, but I do love Quiz Up. So I've got Quiz Up on my phone, and I play that a lot, especially the movie-related things. No one can beat me with Oscar 2014. Maude can't hear anything, but I'm just going to keep going.
I can now. I think it's my earphones. Get that reverb.
You were just talking to yourself for so long.
Yo. So I said that I was playing Quiz Up, Morty.
Yes.
Yep, that's the only thing I play.
Yep.
Watching, of course, I love to watch movies, so as well as Fault in Our Stars and Bad Neighbours, which we saw for work. I also saw a great film the other day called Lock, and it stars Tom Hardy, and it is just Tom Hardy in a car driving by himself for an hour, 20 minutes. It's incredible. It's so tense and exciting, and you get to learn about his character. It's just him driving and talking on the phone through his car. I recommend it. It's remarkable. And I'm reading a book which is really interesting, actually. It's called The New Abnormal, Sleepless in Hollywood. And so it's about how everything has changed in Hollywood. Now it's the era of the $20 million movie, and we don't see so many mid-range movies anymore, and how that has changed with things like the Marvel comic books or Transformers. It's all about the brand names, and it's all about business marketing rather than pitching good stories. So that's really interesting. So that's my power.
Woohoo! Everyone else, what are you doing? PWR, playing, watching, reading? Comment below. We'll read them out. It's cool to hear what everyone's doing. Alrighty, moving on to the next topic. We are talking about the future of gaming. Tobes, this has been a big article that you spent a lot of time on. Did you want to go over the article and then just talk to us about what you've discovered?
Okay. So when I thought about the future of gaming, I mean, the new generation of consoles here, and with that comes a lot of expectation for innovation and immersion and all that kind of stuff. So I sort of put that into 4 categories. I left one out, which I'll go to later,
Yep.
And that was obviously virtual reality and single player versus multiplayer, the blur between those, the motion capture, and storytelling. I think it was the way people tell stories these days. And I don't know, the future of gaming is a huge thing, and with the announcement of like Project Morpheus and Oculus Rift, it's something that's on the radar for a lot of gamers, and virtual reality can take over the gaming space. But obviously, there's a lot of things that are currently keeping it from doing that. And you know, when I went through this article, I looked at all the possibilities, went through the positive and negatives of each, and I think honestly, virtual reality is the next big thing. But it's the way developers and such handle it that will make things interesting for gamers and make them in a landscape like that.
For me, I guess one movie that I watched, it was Her with Joaquin Phoenix, and they had set in the future, the near future, I think in about 50 or so years' time, where, maybe not even, but where everyone's got their own, the Siri who checks your emails, runs everything for you. It's like your personal
system.
Your best friend as well. But there was a gaming scene in there, and it was amazing, and I was like, this could be quite accurate. It's a full screen projection, and it's almost holographic. And then it's like you are in the hologram, and then it's Connect as well, so you are moving in the game, and all the things are around you. So I guess also, if you haven't seen the movie, the best way to picture it is like in the Jedi Council when they're all around the circle and the dude pops up. It's almost interactive like that, but reverse it. You're the person in the middle, and everything else around you is holographic. But yeah, it's super immersion. I think that that's kind of realistic. I think we could be heading there. But I would like to hear what you guys think we are going to get into in 10, 20, 50 years.
I can definitely see that happening, but I think it'll be like through the virtual reality headset rather than a big projector. I just don't think that's really going to work in most circumstances where you'll be gaming in your house. I don't think you're going to have a giant projector where you see a hologram, but putting it on your eyes for sure. That's like you're going to be the character. There's not going to be any difference between you and whoever you're playing. I just hope that like within Her, there was also the way that he was speaking to the character and the AI of the characters, and that was really intense. I think I would like to see that sort of AI within the characters that you're playing and the characters that you see in games, not just putting you into the game, but also making them out of the game and making them like real people. So that's what I would ideally, not real people, but having like the ability for them to talk to you and respond to you.
Can you imagine
instead of just the standard thing?
Just take The Sims, for example.
It would just be real life.
Yeah, except everyone would be like, hey, come over. No, I really do like you. How's your new job going? You should go for a swim in the pool. What's that? Ladder's gone. Drown a bit.
Yeah, that didn't happen to your sim. You just kept getting rejected when you were a sim with Saber Plays a Sim. You got rejected by everyone you tried to hit on. It was great.
That's kind. It is real life.
And then you murdered them all.
It is real life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do see the space opening up. Like, I mean, one of the best parts about the next generation of gaming is graphics and such, but I think motion capture is going to be a huge thing for gaming in the next couple of years because the thing that I referenced in that was The Last of Us as motion capture and Troy Baker sort of involving himself with Joel. And there was a scene that I saw in the documentary of the making of The Last of Us that I referenced like specifically for that part that was like him doing this part of The Last of Us, first 15 minutes of the game, no spoilers, and it took so much out of him, like it drained him. And he had to do it like over 8 or 10 times.
Yeah.
And they said they got it, and then like months later, after they'd nearly finished shooting, Neil Druckmann was like, "We've got to do this again," and he started cursing and such. And I mean, Troy related to that character so much and sort of like pulled on those experiences, and it really reflected in the game how beautiful like he portrayed Joel and same with Ashley Johnson as Ellie. And I think motion capture and sort of like it's like movies. How people sort of relate to their characters now, and that's how gamers. That's how I feel games are going to be.
It's like that both of those industries are almost merging because you're getting these games that are such good. The storytelling is incredible.
Yeah.
And then movies are becoming more and more like we want to involve ourselves in the movie. So I think we're going to see a merge of those significantly in the next 5 to 10 years. And Alicia's going to have to play games.
Oh God, I know. Oh, God, help me. I'm just terrible at it, not that I hate it. But now we see really great actors doing these video games because they actually can act with motion capture and they have great stories. We just need a good video game turned film because there hasn't been a good translation yet. And it's such a shame because video games do have these really great stories. Could be Assassin's Creed, which I know, Maude, you love and you've told me about. I've never played it ever. But the director of the film, Justin Kurzel, he's Australian. He directed Snowtown, which was just a creepy film. He's also doing Macbeth with Michael Fassbender, and Michael Fassbender's producing and starring in Assassin's Creed and brought Justin on board. And Justin's so great at creating characters and doing really great character studies. So I think that might add a nice layer onto the action, I'm assuming, that's in Assassin's Creed. And maybe we'll get a video game movie that we finally deserve.
Yeah. We're both really hopeful for The Last of Us movie, actually, because that was probably one of the best stories that they've told in a game ever, to this point. So they're obviously making that at the moment. The problem is, though, it's a 15-hour game.
Yep. It's like pulling that 15 hours into 2 hours.
You get it's that 15 hours of you being immersed in the story, and it's mainly the story. The gameplay is sort of separate almost. You feel like you keep playing this game because of the 15 hours of story. So it's going to be really interesting to see if they can put that into a 2-hour movie and make it work.
But I'm confident. I'm confident.
Yeah, because it's longer. It's like it's the same as putting like a whole series into one movie.
If you are just tuning in, by the way, we are talking about the future of video games and where we're at in, say, 10, 20, 50 years' time. Toby's written a great article, and you can catch it on geekbomb.net. I think for me, the short-term improvements or directions that we're going with video games is that you won't have voice acting anymore. We have discovered that mocap is such a more in-depth and realistic approach to getting these graphics out there. And I remember talking to Roger Craig Smith about it, who is a great voice actor. We had him on Geeks Unleashed. You can check through the history and watch that chat with him. But, it's fine when you're playing characters like Sonic where the mocap is completely irrelevant. But, when he was playing Ezio, he doesn't really look like him at all. It was just the voice. So is the voice industry going to suffer because now they need to look like the character that they're portraying? Taz, Toad?
But do they really have to look like it, or can they just pull the right expressions? I think the technology is there for you to look. You could be a girl playing a guy, and it could still.
Like Andy Serkis playing Caesar in Rise of the Planet of the Apes or Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The acting is still incredible. It's just they've just transformed the face. So I think as long as the voice actor, can perform those lines well, and I guess most of them can because that's how you get the expression in your voice, and things like that. So I think that it it won't kill the industry. They'll just start doing it differently.
Yeah, I mean, Troy Baker did Infamous Second Son and The Last of Us, so I'm going to point to that. Obviously, they would use mocap in both of those games. Infamous Second Son, you can really tell that Troy Baker's facial features in the game.
Exactly, no. Like, it looks like the same.
And the voice is the same.
Yeah,
he has
whereas with
changed
Joel,
his voice.
Joel's quite a lot different. He's got like a bit of a raggedy beard, and
He's an old man.
yeah, he's very much an old man, 40, 50-year-old man.
Yeah.
And it's the same with Ashley Johnson and Ellie. I mean, Ashley Johnson doesn't look, or kind of, the facial features a little bit, but I mean, Ellie's like this 14, 15-year-old girl, and Ashley Johnson's like 20-something. So, I mean, I don't think it'll hurt the voice industry. I think it'll be more pressure on like the graphics designers and animators to make it look realistic.
And I think it will be more likely that a lot of actors or film actors will move into that sphere as well. It's obviously started already.
With Kevin Spacey in Call of Duty too.
Yeah, Kevin Spacey in Call of Duty.
But he looks the same.
Willem Dafoe is in a film.
Yeah, Beyond Two Souls.
Beyond Two Souls.
And Ellen Page is in that one as well. Yeah.
Good game too.
Yeah, that is an interactive movie though. It's less of a game and more of like you press like one button and then it's a 20-minute cutscene. Yeah, it is made by the same people as Heavy Rain.
But in saying that, I loved Heavy Rain, and like, for me, in a way, and Alicia, you can cry if you want to, but to sacrifice 2 hours of my attention where all I do is sit there and watch is really hard for me. But if I'm sitting there and I'm a part of it, like what Heavy Rain was, it is a movie. You are watching cutscenes. There's a lot of time where you're just sitting there for like 20 minutes while it goes along, and then all of a sudden, like, the same with Wolf Among Us, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, quick, I'm a part of this game. But for me, it vies to my attention a lot more than movies do to this day and age, because this is how I watch movies.
Oh, no, that's awful.
Yeah.
I love to just sit and watch movies happen. I don't like to be involved in it. I like to just take a break.
But the difference, the difference is though is that you make the decisions. I mean, it's especially in a game like Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls. Both of those were like such heavy
consequences.
Yeah, the consequences of your decisions. I was emotionally distraught coming out of playing both of those. But it's incredible that happens, like that you can become that invested in something. It's a completely different level to just watching something play out on screen that you have no say in.
I think that's why they've also had some trouble adapting some films into games. Like I remember when I was doing a course on TV ratings, we went over gaming and TV and movies, how you rate them. And there was one game that had to be outlawed, and it was based on Hostel. And that's because you're doing the torture. So you're choosing to perform the torture rather than just watching someone else torture someone on this torture porn bloody movie. Yeah. So, that's the tricky thing, because you're a part of it.
There's a really thin line there.
And there are a lot of games now where you do do
GTA
those things.
5.
That's right. Oh god, you have to like pull people's fingernails off and stuff, and you have to make that decision.
No, I mean, I'd rather watch someone else do it.
It is very confronting, but I don't know. I like the experience.
Technically, to the judicial system, though, Alicia, you are still an accomplice, and you will still.
That's right. I'm a part of it. I'm a witness.
I'm just up to, I'm reading Game of Thrones as well at the moment, and no, Rob, I was just the watcher. I didn't do anything. Please have mercy, have mercy. Best line. You were the watcher, were you? Well, hang him last so he can watch all his friends die. Anyway, moving on, Alicia, back onto you.
Yes.
I want to talk about the future of movies. We've spoken about the future of games, how we think that it's kind of all going to sit on your face and that the graphics are going to get great and you're going to be immersive and the characters are going to be so real. But what is the fate in store for movies?
Well, it's really interesting because it's all about the way you distribute movies these days. Now you've got so many video-on-demand options. You can watch things on Netflix, on Amazon, etc., etc. Something interesting that happened last week, I think it was, where Joss Whedon's film In Your Eyes played at Tribeca Film Festival. He executive produced it and wrote it. Bryn Hill directed it. As soon as the film premiered at Tribeca, a video message came up from Joss Whedon saying, from now on, right now, you can go on to Vimeo and you can download and just rent to watch this video for 72 hours. Once you purchase it, you've got it available to watch for 72 hours and it'll only cost you $5. And we're trialing a new self-distribution system where you're not reliant on the studios and you can make all that money back. And it's exactly the same thing as Louis C.K. did with his stand-up routine, and that was really successful. He offered that for $5, and he made a bunch of money. So other comedians are trialing it, but this is kind of the first time they've tried it with movies. And I think that is really fascinating. Also this week, Jeffrey Katzenberg, who's the CEO of DreamWorks Animation, he did a speech in Beverly Hills, and he spoke about the future of film, and he thinks that theatrical releases will be shortened to about 17 days. I don't know where you came up with that number, but you'll have 17 days to watch a film in cinemas, and then it'll be available straight away to watch on video on demand. And he thinks that the way you watch it will determine the price. So if you watch it on a smartphone, it might be $1. If you watch it on an iPad, it might be $2. You know, computer $4, big screen, etc., etc. So that's interesting. And also, Spielberg and George Lucas have spoken about the future of seeing movies, and they think that it will be more of an event. So it'll be similar to going to see a play, where you'll pay a lot of money, maybe $50 for a ticket. It'll be a night out, and it'll only be special movies that are shown on screen, and everything else will be available to watch on demand. So it's kind of sad that the future of cinema is looking more and more like you can watch it whenever you want on whatever size screen you want, and less about the shared experience of going to a cinema. And that's what I love. I love when you go to see a movie and everyone's crying like Maude is, or everyone's jumping from horror films, or everyone's laughing at the same time with comedies like Bad Neighbours. I think that's really precious because we have so few shared experiences left. It's like now we just watch at home on tiny little screen. And even Scorsese was talking about all the new technologies that are now available. But one great thing that he said was that it doesn't matter what tools you use. Now anyone can make a movie, but it still comes down to story. Story will resonate. So that's one good thing. But future of cinema, I don't know. I'm scared. I love watching videos on demand, but I love going to the cinema. It's such a great experience.
It's almost like in the world that we live in, we're trying to find, obviously everything's run by convenience. Things are going to work if you create something where you make it easy for someone so they don't have to put in any effort whatsoever. It sounds like that all of these things, the future of gaming, you know, maybe not its movement, but, you know, the immersiveness and where cinema is heading, is that it's how to leave the house the least amount as possible.
Yeah.
So it's not about going out and having a social experience. It's about, I'm laying down, I'm going to play a game, and then I'm going to watch a movie, and I'm going to eat. Like, have you guys seen, what was that? Wall-E.
Yeah.
We're all set in the future, and we're hovering around.
Exactly. So lazy, and we're just
and there's the screen. Screen's in front of us. We're all fat because we don't move, because everything's just available to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that our future, guys?
I don't know. It's a scary prospect. I mean, it's great, but it's hard when you're watching a film at home because there is a temptation to pick up your phone, to look at your computer, and you're not really invested in it like you are when you're in a cinema and it's dark and everyone is watching and everyone is participating. So,
do you think 3D is going to be a thing of the past? Because if we're all going to move features,
I hope so.
If it's going to be on our screen, I mean, unless, again, it pops up like a hologram, is 3D just going to be...
Well, at the moment, 3D is the only way they can differentiate, apart from the size of the screen and the darkness and the shared experience. 3D is something you can't quite replicate. You can get TVs that have 3D capabilities, but I don't think it's as...
It didn't go very well.
But it also 3D has now become a bit of an excuse to make extra money at the box office because the ticket prices are higher, so that makes more money. Spider-Man 2 is an example of something that's been post-converted, so it wasn't even filmed with 3D in mind. It's all about getting money, and I don't think it added anything to the movie. Whereas something like Avatar, I think 3D is so worthwhile because you really felt like you were part of a world. You were immersed in it, and it works so well with those worlds that aren't our own. You know what I mean?
Like an out-of-body experience, an out-of-world experience. Yeah.
I feel like we'll probably lose that 3D though if we get the virtual reality stuff coming in, because you'll be wearing it on your face.
It's going to be like those. Remember how we had those mini discs? GameCube tried to do it, and it was going to be you had the CDs, and now we've got the mini discs, and no.
Yeah, it kind of depresses me though that you can be watching a film on your iPhone because it's so small. It's just not the same experience.
It's not the
I
same
know it's
thing.
convenient, but it's not the same experience.
I like.
I was going to say Sandman 021000728 has weighed in on this one, saying it's like the death of cinema is just like drive-ins. No one wants to drive to a cinema to watch that anymore. That kind of happened in the 70s, maybe the 80s. No one's doing drive-ins anymore.
The drive-ins are the best.
It's a thing of the past. What were you about to say, Tassie?
I like to think that it wouldn't go away completely because I know that I still like going to the cinema for that reason. And it's always going to be that event, whether or not it's just that you won't get to always see every movie at the cinema. Like, fair enough. But
that's why I think Spielberg and Lucas are right in saying that it'll be more an event that you go for special movies, not for all movies.
Yeah, absolutely, which is fair enough because it's hard now, especially with the different time zones and different movies coming out at different times, and everyone just wants to watch it. When it comes out, the instant it comes out, and they'll get it however they can. So you've got to cater for that, or you're just going to have to keep dealing with people downloading and stealing movies. So I guess
it's interesting because like services like Netflix and Hulu and stuff, I feel like have contributed to this near like sort of sacrificial thing of the theaters and the events of what movies are. And as our internet and technology gets better, and as we get bigger TVs and big HD monitors and projectors, the need to go to a theater will decrease if they start releasing these on demand.
It's true, and we see a lot of day and date releases in cinema and video on demand, particularly for smaller films, but I think it'll happen more and more with the bigger films too.
Yeah.
Beautiful. That is what we think about the future of gaming and movies. If you want to weigh in on what you think, make sure you comment below because we'll be writing back to everything that we get. I wanted to move on because it is Star Wars Day in Australia. Happy May the 4th be with you.
Wearing my Star Wars t-shirt. It has highlighter on it, but I wore it anyway.
Yay.
AT-AT. Someone tried to say in the States, what's an AT-AT? And I'm like,
yeah, that happens a lot.
Oh,
I know that, and I'm not a super Star Wars nerd.
It's an acronym. Mind you, we do say LOL, and that's an acronym. Mind you, you shouldn't say LOL. We just really wanted to touch on quickly about the casting announcements. I love the fact that a lot of them aren't huge A-list names. Like names are thrown around like Zac Efron, etc. And I kind of like the fact that we've got, very, very unique characters. I was talking to Alicia on her podcast, Malone's Movie Minute. You tick every box. You've got the token black person, the token old man, the token redhead, ginger ninja, yay, the token Jew. It kind of tick, 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 tick. But the only problem with this is that all of those, the old man, the black person, they're all men. And then there's the token woman, which kind of sucks. Some people are arguing, going, don't worry, they're going to make more announcements, we'll have more women. But out of the 13 names that they announced, one was female. That's, no, don't tell me to calm my tits, because they're out here going, what? And we're with them.
Yeah, I think it's sad because I think young girls and also different people, when you're kids, you want to see yourself reflected on the big screen. So I think the more women that can be up on the screen, lightsabers, the better it is for self-esteem.
I'm just hoping we'll see some more.
I get the whole, the safetiness with racial diversity and all of those. They have like you have to reach a quota for each of them. But, to bring up your point, Alicia, there are so many walks of life that if you don't see you up there in a heroic role, then how do you think you're ever going to be someone amazing?
Exactly.
But then someone else, like there was another argument going, you don't want to have forced casting. A lot of the time it's like you have to have one, at least an Asian, at least 3 women, at least this, and it can't be forced. But
but I feel like with something like Star Wars, there are so many different roles and so many options. It's so simple. I mean, especially with women, it's like change a name to a feminine name. There you go. You have a female character. You don't have to change anything about it.
Mass Effect does a great job as well. Like, when you play characters in Mass Effect, there was a human, Jax. There was the Asari. She was fantastic. Even make a kick-ass female alien race.
If you've got a good character, it shouldn't matter whether it's male or female. It'll still work in the movie.
But that's the thing, Star Wars is so huge, there's obviously going to be more female characters. It's just that, like, they can't only be one. It just might not be that they have huge parts. Maybe we'll see hundreds of them, but they'll just have smaller parts, and that's still good. I'd be happy with
doesn't
that.
agree.
We have to make a lot of assumptions as well with this cast. I mean, there's a few factors in this. The canon now, so all the extended universe doesn't matter anymore. It's just what falls under canon that's going to count. So it's like a game of guess who. I guess guess who. Who is the redhead going to play? You've got Domhnall.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, look into the Star Wars universe. Redheads. Oh, maybe there's like 2 or 3 potential people.
Exactly.
Same for Daisy, what she looks like, Daisy Ridley. She's virtually an unknown, but she's got a particular look. Is she going to be Leia and Han's daughter?
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, Andy Serkis could be anyone because he is obviously so well known for motion capture, so he could play anything. Max von Sydow, he's 85 years old, and he is known for being a great villain. So people are speculating he could be the great villain. But I love this casting because all these actors, besides Andy and Max, they're not established just yet, but they are brilliant actors who have had small parts in great movies, small movies, and now are getting their chance because usually they're passed over for the big names.
Yeah.
And I think, celebrities can be created. They're all going to be celebrities now. They're all going to be stars. Yeah. It's about finding the right person for the right role. And all these people have talent.
I'm really relieved that it's not, it's, that's that guy from that thing. Not, that's Matt Damon. I know every movie he's been in. I know his characters. He's Jason Bourne. He's this, he's that. Now he's apparently Aquaman.
And maybe people now will go and look up Inside Llewyn Davis to see who Oscar Isaac is. Or they'll go watch Attack the Block to see who John Boyega is. I think it's a great thing. Maybe they'll go and see their earlier work, which is excellent, and you should.
Is it fair to say that Andy Serkis will not be playing live motion? He will be mocap.
I hope he doesn't because he is a brilliant actor. I think he needs to. He's obviously so skilled at motion capture. He can play Gollum. He can play an ape. He can play King Kong. He's excellent. But I'd love to see him on screen. Just being himself. He's going to be directing later on this year as well, which is great, but directing a Jungle Book adaptation, one of the 2 that are going around. But
I'll be freezing just a little bit there, and you're freezing on a really awesome pose.
I want to see him play a character. He's great. I love him.
Michael Gulick has weighed in on this one. He goes, I would love for Andy Serkis to be both a mocap actor as well as a live action actor. He's a genius with mocap, but he's also got some decent skills as a regular actor. I have to agree with that.
Maybe he'll play a woman, and it'll solve everyone's problems.
Oh no, we got question time. Oh darn, I got the wrong one. Where are we?
What's happening?
Alright, I found a question button. I'm trying it out for the first time because you put me in charge. I wanted to do this one. Here we are. We've got a question from Michael as well. He's so happy to see both Alicia and I on Smo's Nose, which is great.
Oh, yeah, I never checked.
Yay. My question is about Andy Serkis. I know he's a genius with mocap, but I also respect his live action acting skills. Do you think he may be both in episode 7? I think he's going to be an alien race that they need mocap for. Taz, Tobes?
Yeah, I think they'll stick to him being mocap, but I would be happy either way.
Yeah, he's a brilliant actor either way.
Maybe
so
it'll be semi-mocap, like half his face.
Two-Face. It's
like
Star Wars.
Again, Two-Face.
Yeah.
Leash? And you are frozen.
She's frozen. I don't know where she's at right now.
Just trying to see if we got any more Star Wars questions. There is a question part that you can comment in. Michael, you figured it out because they're all questions.
Yeah, it's on the Google page, the Google
Hangout page.
The Google Hangout page.
Exciting. We're talking about. We'll go back to the conversation of where the future of movies are because people got great points on that one. For me, I don't think you can go wrong. I'm just excited that we've got another Star Wars movie. I think JJ will do quite well. I think that Disney is in an incredibly good position because they have both Marvel and Star Wars. They are laughing their way to the bank. And
until we see a crossover, Marvel vs. Star Wars, and it's going to be like the worst thing in the world.
What if they made like a game like blended Final Fantasy and Disney.
Oh
But
yeah, well I
they'll
mean,
implement Star
Kingdom
Wars
Hearts
and
was
Marvel.
good, so we could see a.
I never got
Would
into
you imagine?
It was a good game, so maybe they'll do that.
Maybe they'll
have
implement
Star
like
Wars
Star Wars
universes.
levels and
Yeah.
stuff into the next
like
Final
come
Fantasy
with a
Kingdom Hearts game.
side. Oh, okay.
Oh,
So
there will be. There will totally be Star Wars levels in the new Kingdom Hearts. That's
I'm
cool.
excited for that.
Alicia just texted me to say that it froze.
I just reset it. Can you see me now?
You are better.
Yes.
You were frozen like this.
Oh, it's all. Why is it always an ugly face? Why isn't ever like you're looking like when you freeze?
You just gotta be prepared all the time and pose.
Yeah, just be like,
I'm screwed then, always. Apparently Disney owns the highest grossing movie franchise, which is Marvel, and all of the Avengers and the Marvel movies. Well, the Avengers was the highest grossing. And also the third, which is the Star Wars before. So that's 1 and 3. And it's Warner Brothers, is what Alicia told me. These are her facts. That Warner Brothers has the Harry Potter franchise, which comes in at number 2 as the highest grossing franchise. So kind of the only players in this game, studio-wise, is Disney/Marvel and Warner Brothers. And Warner Brothers has the rights to Justice League, which brings us to our next point of conversation. Make sure you comment or write a question if you've got anything you want to say about the Justice League movies. Leash, do you want to tell everyone what the recent announcements have been?
Yeah, so basically they announced that something we all suspected as soon as we heard that Batman was going to be in the sequel, and then when we heard Wonder Woman was going to be in the sequel, and then we heard Cyborg was going to be in the Man of Steel sequel, we had a feeling that Justice League was coming. So they made a big announcement that Justice League is going to come around 2017 or 2018. So it'll go Batman vs. Superman, which is the Man of Steel sequel, and then Justice League, and then 9 other DC movies. So what could they be? Well, people are saying that they all could have standalone movies. So the Justice League, who they're saying could be the 5 core Justice League members of Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, and then possibly Aquaman or that Martian guy. What's his name?
Martian
Manhunter.
Yeah, Martian the Manhunter. I'm just learning about all this.
Just Martian Manhunter.
Martian.
I want to see an Aquaman movie.
Yeah, I want to see Aquaman. He's my favorite.
This is the thing.
Then it's like, what is it going to be? The thing I find interesting is, so Marvel did it the other way, where they had all the origin stories and then brought them all together for Avengers.
Clever.
Now DC are doing
Makes more sense.
Makes more sense because
How do you do it the other way? How are they going to set them all up?
the thing that's annoying for me is not being a comic book reader, as you can tell, but I do love comic book movies, but not being a comic book reader, the most interesting part of a character on film is the origin story. That's what you want to see. You want to see how they became who they are. That's fascinating, and I don't see how they're going to do it when they're working backwards.
Well, previously we've seen the a couple of Batman trilogies now, like Michael Keaton, just cleaning, and then Christopher Nolan's. So we've seen that world. We know what Gotham is about. We know that it's dark. We know it's gruesome. We know that it can be kind of play schoolized if we want it to be. With Man of Steel, this is why I have a bone to pick. Man of Steel had its movie a couple of times. We've had a couple of Supermans now. It didn't work, we're trying again. When it was like a sequel, it was Superman's sequel. So it was going to be more about him and more about Metropolis and more about, his job with Amy Adams, who I can't stand, but that's another bone.
Yeah, it's more, we see more Clark Kent and the alias that he is when he's the reporter.
At the end of the movie, he puts on glasses and then that's it,
Yeah,
So,
but then, of course, Zack Snyder was sitting there, director of Man of Steel and director of the sequel and director of Justice League, and he said, you know what would be really cool? What if we put Batman in the movie? Yeah, let's do it.
This isn't the Injustice, Gods Among Us, which is a great game, and I actually think that the writers need to have a chat to the guys from Injustice because they've got all the DC characters and they've kind of made it, each has their own storyline, but they all work together in a way as a fighter game. But I just think that Superman's being totally put on the back seat for it being his sequel.
Yeah.
And they keep announcing more characters. They've piggybacked Superman's sequel to introduce the new Batman and all the new characters, which will set up the Justice League.
Yeah,
and it's like,
and It's like we'll have quick moments of Wonder Woman and probably the briefest of moment of Cyborg, just ready for Justice League. So it is just a setup film. Yeah.
So I'm all over the forums. I'm looking at all the comments. So many people are going, we are ready for a Wonder Woman movie. We're ready for a Flash movie. We're ready for Aquaman. Aquaman's not necessarily part of Justice League, but the DC universe is so huge that there are big characters that could have their own movie, like they've done with, you know, the Hulk's had a few of his own movies back in the day. Eric Bana, Edward Norton. But you know, there's been 3 Iron Mans. There's been 2 Thors. There's been 2 Captain Americas. Like, this is what DC should have been working on.
I know.
And for them to go, all right, cool, we'll do a sequel with Superman vs. Batman, everyone's like, oh, amazing. And then like, wait a second. And then dropping on all these characters. And then saying, oh, but it won't be out for maybe 3 years.
I know.
Like,
Is that them giving that time, though, for them to create these shows that they're doing at the moment? I mean, they've got Arrow. They're obviously making The Flash. I think there's a couple of other ones they're working on in terms of TV series, so maybe that's the setup. And that would be great because those shows, like, I think work better than the movies that Marvel are doing because you get a whole 2 seasons of these characters.
Get a lot of character development.
Yes, so much
character. The CW has done Arrow. They will not copy and paste that into a movie format. No way. Like, can you really picture Stephen Amell's Arrow up against Ben Affleck's Batman? Like, it's not. It's so
it would be.
Like, you know, it drips with cheese, which I love. I fucking love cheese, in both senses. But
there's no way they could recast him either. If they used a different person, no way. If they did that, no one would have.
I read this on the AMC forums, and I've not been able to think of anything since. And I want to talk dream casting with everyone. So write your favorite Justice League character and who you can see as them below, because I'll read them out. Someone said Charlie Hunnam as Green Arrow, and I am fucking
Green
sold.
Arrow? Yeah. Or Lantern.
Sold. Green Arrow is blonde with a blonde beard. Have you seen Charlie Hunnam?
Yeah, he's great.
Perfect.
He's a great actor too. And see, this is the thing that DC needs to do because Marvel have been so great with their movie making because they've chosen really fantastic filmmakers like Joss Whedon and different directors for each film, which I think gives such a great different style to all of them.
Yeah, because Zack Snyder's got a lot in his lap now.
Yeah, and so Zack Snyder is going to be directing, you know, 3 of the films, and then they're speculating maybe Ben Affleck will direct a Batman standalone film as well as star in it. But Zack, I think, yeah, on one hand you could say it's good because it'll be very consistent. The 3 films will all look the same, so it's the same director. But to me, Zack's films look pretty incredible, but he hasn't proven that he is able to handle multiple characters like in Justice League. And as we saw with Amazing Spider-Man 2, if you do it wrong, it fails. It feels bad.
What I also want to think is, like, if you've got the one director doing every movie, that's time-consuming. And if DC has little of anything, it's time. I say they play all their cards. It's like you've got catching up to do.
They failed with Green Lantern. It's like they need a hit. The Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy was excellent. They need to back up from that. Man of Steel was critically panned. I thought it was okay, but it wasn't brilliant, so they really need to pick it up now.
I thought Henry Cavill was good. I just could not stand Amy Adams. And then, like, I'm Russell Crowe. I am the dad, and I am...
It was a pretty dark Superman as well, and he's supposed to be the boy wonder, you know.
He actually kind of emulated a lot of what Captain America's about. You know, like the soldier through and through, the... I put everyone else in front of me kind of deal. I want to know from everyone, though, let's talk about some ideal casting. We've already seen Cyborg, Wonder Woman. I'm still not sold on Wonder Woman. I'm still not sold on Ben Affleck. I'm just not fucking sold. And you know what? Apparently Matt Damon is joking around that he's trying to be Robin, but he has been rumoured to be playing Aquaman. I don't buy that either. Get it right.
He said no. He said he's not going to do it. But people just trying to connect him with Ben Affleck in a movie, which would be really interesting. I say give Ben a chance because I have faith in him. But, yeah, it seemed like a weird casting. Weird casting. Yeah. Gal Gadot, she's tough. She's been in the Israeli army, but she's not really who you picture with Wonder Woman. With Wonder Woman, I mean, do you remember they were trying to do a Wonder Woman TV show? and they did the pilot, but it never went anywhere. But Adrienne Palicki was cast as Wonder Woman for the TV show, and
a bit more voluptuous, a little bit more curvy.
Yeah, and she's tough as well. She's really lovely. She's beautiful. I think she's still Wonder Woman in my mind.
Right. All right, so we can't talk about Batman or Superman or Wonder Woman or Cyborg, but we can talk about which Green Lantern we're going to get, and then possible spin-offs from other major characters like Aquaman, which everyone's wanting, like, I mean, I'd love to see a Wonder Woman solo movie, but it never happened, which sucks. I would love to see, and someone is with me here, and I'll read out their name because they're my new favourite person momentarily. Where's your comment? Because it was awesome. Scott Dixon, you're my man, wants to see a Nightwing movie. Can we please explore some Nightwing? Dick Grayson, I love
me about Nightwing.
Love Nightwing. It's such a great story.
Tell me about it. I don't know the story.
Okay, cool. So, we all know Batman and Robin. We all know how Robin came about. Robin lost his parents, became an orphan, stumbled in, helped Batman out, saw the Batcave, Bob's your uncle, you know, the sidekick. There's only so long someone can be a sidekick before you're like, you know, you chuck an aerial and you start singing, I want more. And that's what happened with Dick Grayson. He wanted more than being a sidekick. He wanted to run on his own. Dick Grayson is the first Robin. He went, Batman, thanks for teaching me everything. I feel like I can learn no more. Was a Padawan. I'm moving into my Jedi-dom, and he became a Jedi in the form of Nightwing. And then Batman got a new Robin. And so I think that is a great story. And I sort of thought that at the end of the last, what was the last Dark Knight movie?
Dark Knight Rises.
Rises, yeah.
Right, because we had Joseph Gordon-Levitt. You know, kind of, I thought that maybe he was transitioning into Robin, and I think he could make a good Robin. But then someone was like, what if that's going to be Nightwing? And I was like, oh, get out, because you could be Robin and then move on to Nightwing in the same movie. I don't know, but I'm with you there, Scott.
Joseph is already going to be Sandman as well, who, isn't he DC too?
Sandman?
Yeah, or is he completely different?
If the one I'm thinking of, you're talking about Marvel, and Sandman is,
okay.
He's the guy with
There's another one. There is another one. I don't know if it's DC. I'm thinking more Dark Horse comics, but I'm not sure. Yeah. I can't confirm that.
So Sandman was the guy who had a very sick daughter, so he turned to crime to raise money to help his...
Is that the one that Edgar Wright is doing?
Spider-Man 3.
Isn't he doing
That's
Sandman?
the other Sandman.
I don't know. No.
That actually, yeah. Edgar Wright.
Oh, Ant-Man, of course. Yes, that makes more sense.
Yeah. There's something
but
about
Joseph
Sandman.
Gordon-Levitt is doing Sandman, Neil Gaiman.
That's
anyway.
right.
Yeah,
I
love Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Robin. I thought that was brilliant. And then just didn't get a chance to go anywhere else.
So who can everyone see as, I mean, with Green Lantern, there are 4 Green Lanterns that they've had. I don't think they'll go anywhere near Hal Jordan because Hal Jordan was Ryan Reynolds, and we all know how that movie went.
Yeah.
I never even watched that movie.
We don't talk about it.
You know what?
Watch it.
Neither did I. So I don't think they'll go back to Jordan at all.
He's a tough character. Well, Green Lantern, for me, not coming from the comic book world, seems like a tough character because in the movie, a lot of the problems was you have to explain so much. You have to explain like where it's more alien world and then the ring and how there's all these other people with other rings, and it was just so confusing, so it's hard to do.
Take a note out of Tolkien's book. There is one ring. Just one ring.
One ring, yeah. Who would you like to see as Green Lantern?
I think that it'll be Jon Stewart, and Jon Stewart is the African-American Green Lantern, and I think he packs a punch. There was a chunk of time when he was like the Green Lantern, and I think he could do a really good job. Otherwise, maybe it'll be either Guy Gardner or Kyle Rayner, which is like, Kyle Rayner's like the newer one. He's a bit younger, a little bit more fun. He, I think it's this one. Kyle Rayner was like a graphics designer who lived in North Hollywood.
Oh, really?
Across the ring, yeah. So it's like really Generation Y, not Generation Z. So that could be fun as well. Milo, what's his name? Taz, Milo Vementigaligally.
Don't look at me like I know these things.
Milo
Okay.
Anyway, I
The
think
guy from Hero.
because he's got the dark hair, he's got a mop of hair, and he's kind of like got that young artistic kind of hipster look, but it's still, you know, kids in a way. But it's like, cool, man. And who does everyone think? The Flash could be, Aquaman could be, and the Green... Oh, I said Green Arrow already. And excuse me, Johnny B457, Ryan Reynolds should stay as Hal Jordan.
No.
No, they tried that and it didn't work. They need to frozen it up and let it go.
He needs to stay as Deadpool.
I
Yes.
agree. That Deadpool movie, it's been written. Ryan Reynolds told me, he goes, look, you can read the script online. It's all ready. The only problem is Deadpool knows that he is in a cartoon. So to be a character and then have to remove yourself from it in an existential way.
Good word.
Been trying to use that word in a sentence for so long and have it mean it. Nailed it. But they also name studio executives and they blast them. So that's why no one wants to put money, because it's a risk. And Hollywood doesn't like to invest in risk. Michael's waiting. Wouldn't mind seeing Kyle Rayner as Green Lantern. I agree with you. Personally thought he was a little bit more interesting than Hal Jordan. We deserve a decent Batgirl.
Yeah. Do you remember Alicia Silverstone was in Batman and Robin?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was terrible.
Especially after the horror of Batman and Robin. Michael, we couldn't agree with you more. That's fantastic. Marcus Townsend has also weighed in on this. A Nightwing film would equal a poor man's Batman. Sorry, and then this space. Disagree. I think that this is a franchise that they could really run with. I think that there's a few DC characters that the underground and comic lovers worship, but have never had any mainstream love.
It'd be so hard to set up a Nightwing film though, because you'd have to set it up with a Batman film, right?
Totally. Yeah.
So you'd have to make another Batman movie, or at least start with a Batman, which would be very difficult to do.
I agree.
So I don't think it'll happen unless it happens as a TV show, possibly, because you could sort of use exposition to tell that whole Batman thing.
Yeah, I think they will do a standalone Batman as one of these 11 films.
11.
And Affleck will direct.
So many.
But yeah, I know, so many. Grand plans. Well, you know, Marvel has the next 20 years or so mapped out.
Yeah, they do.
DC has to keep up.
Who do we think that Aquaman could be?
Oh.
Someone showed a photo of Simon.
That's a weird. That is a different Aquaman to the one that I.
What's yours? There's a few Aquamans that have like.
There's like a fat, gross Aquaman as well.
Quickly back onto Green Lantern for a second.
Yeah.
There was rumors that The Rock was going to play him, and it was a different character from the Green Lantern. It was a more like The Rock-looking one.
Oh,
I don't know if the rumors have come from that.
Oh yeah, I remember.
But I remember reading about that a while ago.
Yeah, and he wrote that tweet as well saying that, you know, hey, I'm definitely signed on. I can't say anything, but I loved Green Lantern. I love what the DC has, you know, it's all about. And
then he changed his tune all of a sudden to say Hercules is the first superhero. I'm playing Hercules. He's the superhero. It's like
that's a studio war. It's like, no, we'll pay you to promote us.
Yeah.
Here you go. Here is the Aquaman that I was thinking of. On my screen.
That's the original 70s one.
Yeah. That's why I picture when you say Aquaman.
Okay, so we've got your 70s, you know, little Adonis, who I think could kind of be Simon Baker if they're a bit older. Then you've got this one as well, who's a little bit younger. And people are saying that Alex Pettyfer would be quite good.
Yeah, I just saw a picture of his face on Aquaman's body. I can sort of picture that.
Yeah, Alex Pettyfer could be a good one as well. I mean, Aquaman was really only joked about in the Entourage TV series when Grenier was cast as him. So we haven't really seen anything Aquaman yet. So,
see, I would really love to see an Aquaman movie, just because he's kind of crapped on. A lot of people joke about him and they think that his story is a little bit stupid. So I feel like giving reference to that would be really good.
Oh, Josh Holloway. Yeah, Josh Holloway I could see for sure.
Bad. He looks a bit like
Roman Reigns.
A merman.
Yeah.
Someone just said in the chat, and I'll post it there as well. But who is it? Someone from WWE.
Yeah, Roman Reigns. He's actually related to The Rock, to be honest. But if you do tie in
he's got
WWE,
long black hair.
No, and this is one thing where Jason Momoa was rumored to be Aquaman as well, and Roman and Jason Momoa could be bloody cousins because of that look. I disagree. No. Like, you've got to be blonde. What about the
Yeah,
Flash?
but you can
Yeah.
dye their hair.
Yeah, you can
Who's
find
the
that,
Flash?
but
The Flash.
I think DC really needs to focus on finding excellent actors. I mean, you can't imagine Iron Man being played by anyone else but Robert Downey Jr.
True.
You can't imagine
Chris
Thor
Hemsworth.
being played anywhere else but Chris Hemsworth, and nobody knew who Chris Hemsworth was before Thor. Now you cannot imagine anyone else playing him. So DC, I think, needs to look like Star Wars did, with a lot of these actors in these indie films and who are really great at what they do, and then create them so that they are the character rather than relying on movie star names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the guy that they have for the Flash already for the CW show.
I
The
don't
one that was
like
in
him.
Arrow.
I think he could be pretty good.
He
I
looks right.
think
I like the sort of young, like.
he's Barry Allen, but that's the other thing. There are 4 different Flashes as well. Barry Allen, and we're getting, what's that guy? I'm following him on Twitter as well. He's quite awesome. Grant Gustin. Yes. There's also Jay Garrick, Wally West, and Bart Allen. They've all been.
Bart
Flash.
Allen is the father or the son of Barry Allen, right? Doesn't matter. There was 2 generations. I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
I think he might have been the older one.
But Bart Allen, I think, was the son because he's only been around since 2006. So that's what they're doing. Like, the newer ones, like we've seen with Kyle Rayner, is that they're younger, like the younger ones. And they even made Teen Titans as well. I would like to see a Teen Titan movie. I've seen all the cartoons. I thought they were great.
Yeah.
I used to watch Cartoon Network a lot. To see, that's where Cyborg is. Cyborg, Beast Boy, Raven, Young Robin. I thought that was a really good group as well. And that's like a different kind of Avengers/Justice League. It's a younger one to focus on Scooby-Doo issues. If it wasn't for those meddling teens, I would have gotten away with it too.
I just think it's so confusing from a non-comic book reader's perspective, and especially someone, I'm kind of in the film bubble, but people, average film goers, it's so confusing with Avengers, with Justice League, with Sinister Six, there's X-Men, there's so much happening. And me and Morty were talking about this morning how with X-Men, Days of Future Past and Avengers 2, they've both got the character of Quicksilver. But they're different studios and different actors playing them. And actually good friends, and they've both been in Kick-Ass together. So it's really confusing. It's like, who belongs to what? And this is the right issues. And
Just rating the mini bar.
that's going to cost you $500.
$24. All right.
We've got Johnny B.
Everyone streaming right now. Comment below. $24. Should I get the 2011 Chateau Le Brule Renaissance Médoc Appellation Médoc Centrale? Clearly French. It's a product of France. Comment below. You've got 5 seconds. Yes or no? Go.
Yes, go. I like the idea of, so Johnny B456 just said Luke Hemsworth as Flash Gordon. All the Hemsworth. And I say yes, hail Hemsworth instead of hail Hydra.
That was Marcus.
Sorry, that was Marcus. Sorry, it's just written like that.
It's Flash Gordon, though. Flash Gordon is not the Flash.
I say hail Hemsworth. Hemsworth's for everything.
Johnny B456 said, speaking of Josh Holloway, I'd love to see him as Aquaman either. A Flash, could see him as Flash. I could see him as Aquaman more. I think it's like the long hair, that kind of. He did that. He was in that men's fragrance cologne commercial, and he was kind of. Like,
was it like Aqua de Gel or something?
Exactly. So I have that association.
And
the Flash,
Lost, he was always on the beach, Whew.
Ryan Reynolds actually could have played the Flash. Ryan Reynolds has obviously got this, heroic kind of presence, which is why he got snapped up so quickly. But I could have seen him as the Flash, but they've already used that. And I'd like to see him as Deadpool. That ain't gonna happen. Oh, what do you know? Alrighty, so wait in. Sandman says no, red wine sucks. Scott says yes. Michael says yes.
So that's 2 yeses. Yeses have it.
I feel like that was going to be the answer if everyone said no.
Anyway.
Why do you think I asked? Hello. Is that going to let me open it, though? I need a man in my life. Anyway, we'll quickly finish things off with a movie review. We've all seen this movie. We're going to keep it quite spoiler-free, but Bad Neighbours is what it's called in Australia. Neighbours is what it's called here in the States.
Why aren't they bad over there?
Well, because everyone
show
in
here.
Australia...
Oh, they had to rename it.
Yeah, everyone in Australia would think it was a show about Neighbours, our popular soap opera that's on there. No, it's not. And it's, Neighbours with no U, and then in Australia, Bad Neighbours with a U, S.
So it starts
That's not safe.
Dangerous. Oh, God.
How do you not know how to just open it? Why do you need a knife?
There's no tab. There's no tab to get this outer layer off. Screw you, Scott and Michael. They wanted this. They want it. I don't think I can open it. Hey. This is
Just smash it. Just break it off.
Get real violent.
This is more exciting than any of the topics we were going to talk about. We should review this movie while it's happening. Alicia, what did you think about Bad Neighbours? Sorry.
I thought it was really, really funny. I mean, I'm not usually up for these kind of crude comedies, but this one is hilarious, and I think they got quite a few things right. So basically, it's about a married couple with a kid, and next door to them, a frat moves in, and then they have this war. One thing that I really loved about it, and it was pointed out in the film, was Rose Byrne plays the wife of Seth Rogen, and she is just as crazy as Seth Rogen's character. She gets in on the fun too. She gets involved in it.
She has
and usually she's got a great role, and usually in films, and they did mention this in the movie, if this were a Kevin James movie, it would be the nagging wife. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Stop being so silly. But she's just as crazy. And Zac Efron is fantastic as this bro character, and things just get way out of hand, and Zac Efron and Seth Rogen's characters are like the mirror opposite of each other, but also everybody is just terrified of growing up, and I think that's something everybody can relate to. I know I look around at all my friends, and they all have kids, they're all married, and I'm like, oh, nobody told me that I was supposed to grow up. I am feeling old. What are you looking for? Looking for a cork.
I can't get it out
Oh,
from
God.
here.
Hopeless. But there are some really funny jokes in Neighbours or Bad Neighbours. One I know Maude loved involved airbags, which I think is in the trailer. But it just escalates to such... It just goes insane, but it's a laugh a minute. The pacing is great, so I enjoyed it. I want to see it again.
Yeah.
You guys got anything to add to that?
No, I agree with pretty much everything. I'm the same. I don't usually like those sorts of over-the-top movies, but I think there was only like one point where I felt like it was unnecessary, and that was just during, like, it doesn't even matter what scene it was, but the rest of it, even though it was that escalation and just kept getting crazier and crazier, I never felt like uncomfortable, so I quite liked how they handled it, and it was really funny, and all of the characters, I think they had really interesting, like, different sides to them. Even the Zac Efron character, as much as he was a bro, he was still like a really nice person, and you know, it's like a cool to see them all, you know, be told a little bit differently to how they normally would in a comedy.
Exactly,
Yeah,
like both sides, they were as bad as each other, but they were both started out quite normal. I really liked that, and I liked the relationship between Seth and Rose's characters, that they were...
I didn't actually like Rose as much. I thought she was trying too hard to be cool. She always plays that
I liked it.
proper uptight, and I think she does that really well because it's kind of what she is like. I thought she was like
the Australian accent. I thought that was great.
They were trying to be cool, though. That was sort of the whole point. I think it worked because she was the whole time, trying really hard to be that person.
She's a dag mother. You're just having a disastrous time with that wine bottle.
It's going to end really badly.
Yeah.
good idea, didn't it, guys?
So what? It's stuck in there, but you just can't get it out? Is that
I cut my finger as well.
Oh, God. Yeah, but so she calls front desk. Neighbours is really, really funny. It's directed by Nicholas Stoller, and he, I think, adds some more heart to it. He directed 5 Year Engagement, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and also Muppets. He co-wrote the Muppets movie. And I think it's somehow nice humor, if that makes sense, even though it does go
had a
quite
good
far
message.
and it's crude. Yeah.
I think they fall into like poo and weed humor a little bit too much, like that unnecessary, like, oh, again. But then they kind of took a few new directions in the humor that really worked. I think that maybe the best friend and that little side story was a little bit unnecessary. And Zac Efron is so good looking.
Yeah.
In this movie.
Yeah, he was reason enough to see it. That was pretty much 90% of the reason why I wanted to see it.
He's got a lot of abs.
But he's
Yeah.
also a really good actor. I felt that like he was
Yeah.
so good.
I think he's really suited to that role. He could bring something extra to this. Like, usually that character would be very stereotypical and would just have one side to him. But you saw more from the character as the movie developed. You saw another side to him. And I think, and he also plays quite dark. Like, the character gets quite dark at times. And I think both him and Seth Rogen are playing against what you expect them to be. You expect Seth Rogen to be the bro, frat guy who's causing all the trouble. Now he's a father and he's trying to be cool, but he's not really that cool. Zac Efron, you expect to be nice, shiny, Disney, High School Musical star, and he has this dark side to him as this character. So I thought that was really clever, the casting.
Yeah, I think it's interesting as well because like these days, and it might just be my taste on movies, but comedy movies that are actually really funny don't really come around very often, maybe 1 or 2 a year.
Yeah.
And it was just really nice to see a really original, it's original for me,
Yeah.
A movie like that.
Like
really,
an actual laugh out loud type comedy. I haven't seen one of those in a really long time.
I mean, the last one I watched was maybe This Is the End, and that's just because it was kind of my humor and I enjoyed it. But
Yeah,
that's Seth Rogen as well. That's Seth and Evan Goldberg teaming up, and that's that humor. I feel that Seth is playing the same character that he's played in the last 3. If you watch Knocked Up, if you watch This Is the End.
I don't know. I think he's growing up a bit now. Like he's playing the same, similar character, but it's a more grown-up version now.
Yeah, so he goes to work to smoke pot instead of not having a job and smoking pot.
Well,
Yeah,
he's a
That's one way to put it.
actor, so.
I believe that he was a responsible type father, or he was trying to be anyway. I don't know. I think it worked.
He loved his baby. It wasn't like, I can't believe I've got a wife and a kid. Oh, this is awful. He actually loves his life. He just, both him and Rose just don't want to let go of things, and I think that happens when you get older, like me.
Are you doing the Jaws face?
Yeah.
Ah.
Someone screenshot those again, please.
So ugly.
Still going.
I
need
can't
wine
remember
for that
it.
to be funny.
I have 2 cuts on my finger now.
Yeah.
Sandman 0210071 says, I will die laughing if it is corked and you cannot open it. Well,
that happened.
There's several comments like, it's going to get bloody, and Marcus is too worried about you to follow what Alicia's saying.
Yeah.
Stop trying to do it.
no, I won't. This is why I need a boyfriend. This year. It's very depressing. I'm so glad you could all join me on a Saturday night. Well, I can't open a wine.
In a hotel room by yourself on a Saturday night in New York.
My best friend is the minibar. I'm well acquainted.
That's right. I can't talk because I'm also in a hotel room by myself. Saturday night, just a few floors above you, glass of wine.
That's okay.
all I've got.
Everyone's partying together through the internet.
Yeah.
That's right.
Someone's going to
Except
knock on
it's
the door
midday.
soon. I kind of want to wait for a little unsuspecting bottle opener to come in and be like, yay, surprise!
Do we have another topic before we finish? I feel like you're too distracted now. You don't know what's happening. Oh no, that was everything.
Oh, we have an
Is
amazing
everything else?
announcement to make.
Oh, that's right. That's a good point.
Right. Heard it
You
here
know what's
first. Special announcement for Geek Bomb. You've met Toby, who is Boy Bomb. You've got Alicia, who covers movies. You've got Taz, who is the Australian content manager in Australia. But we are expanding the team. We are looking for more contributors to join the team at Geek Bomb to have an outlet to indulge in your geeky side. So, Taz, Tobes, do you want to make the announcement?
Yes. Make the announcement. Yeah. Well, it's we're looking for some specific people, but we're also just looking in general. I mean, we want anyone who is interested in writing, who's interested in talking about what they love. That any time that we will always take articles, but specifically we're looking in Australia. We're looking for 2 more. Someone who's into PCs because we're not really that knowledgeable about PCs, and we have
They're
stuff to
shabazzle
review.
about it.
Yeah, so we want someone that can review the tech behind the PCs, like PC parts, as well as peripherals and games for PC.
Yeah.
That's a big one. And then we're also looking for someone locally in Sydney who can come and hang out at events and go to advanced screenings and go to previews and write all those kind of articles for us. And then just, I guess, you looking for someone as well, Maude?
Yeah.
Are you there?
So basically, with this kind of sort of thing, it's like, you're like, I want to start a website and I want to write and I want to do all these things, but I don't really know anyone, and I certainly aren't getting sent any free games to review, and I don't really know how to do it. Well, that's what Geek Bomb's all about. It's that kind of first step into becoming a part of a community where you can figure out how to write and you can be a part of a team and you can go to these events, meet some awesome people, get some games to play, and really indulge in what a website's all about, and be a part of the Bomb Squad. I'm also looking for members in LA. Is that backwards? Yes. There you go.
No, that was fine.
No, that was fine.
No, you ruined it.
Now you're backwards.
Oh. Looking to kind of get a bomb squad happening in LA, so trying to get events covering Comic-Con, E3, but also get someone to do some streams with me and Alicia when we're in doing the show. We also, get guests on, but have like a little team here. So
how can people apply?
Oh, that's a really good point. To apply, it's really easy. We're going to write an article up on geekbomb.net that'll cover everything, how to submit. Geekbombshells@gmail.com is where you can send everything. Basically, show us your writing. If you want to be in front of the camera, show us why. Do a little video for us. Tell us a bit about yourself, why you're into it, and what you'd love to contribute, and how. Tell us where you're from, your interests, what consoles you own. And just give us a sense of your personality, because that's what it's really all about. Who you are, your passion, your drive, the intensity behind it all. And so, yeah, we'll go through all of those and we'll make the announcements on who we get to add to the Bombshells and the Bomb Squad. Yay!
Yay!
So that's that announcement. Exciting?
Yes.
No, that's everything.
I need that one.
I think this is a sign that you just didn't need any more wine.
Yeah, I think you're good.
It's not like it's not the kind of one. Woo! Yes.
Oh, no. Poor guy is gonna be like.
Did you want to say hi as well?
Hi, I saw them earlier.
Hi.
So she's upstairs. It's Alicia.
Yeah.
I got my pasta.
Yeah. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
And just say hi to the rest of Australia as well.
What did you do to that wine bottle, Maude? Did you break it?
The opener is not your fault. It happens. It's not
my fault, and it happens.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
Whatever makes you feel better about yourself, Maude.
Cut my finger a couple of times.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Bad.
I didn't get it
It's
right.
bad.
Did you want to show? Just use the camera.
Interesting.
Just show how to open it, because I did really bad before, and I'd like to redeem myself.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Here we go. Take a seat. We've got this. What did I do wrong?
No, it's just the opener. It's not probably it's not like strong.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So it's
That's how we have this one. You see?
Yeah.
This is the bar.
Yeah, when
the
you-
battery there.
yeah. So it's the bad bottle opener that provided, guys.
Right.
Oh, here we go.
Nothing to do with you.
Yay! Look at that. Hey guys. So we voted, and they voted that I should have the wine. So this is it.
This is a good one. Enjoy.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Are you done with that? Not yet.
I'm still eating.
Okay, cool. Enjoy.
Yay!
I'll leave the cork here for you. Bye. Good night, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
So this has been the Week in Geek.
Yeah, that was like a fascinating video there.
We got it. Well, I just needed her to make it sound like
People-
that it was the actual.
People listening to the audio podcast of this have
I would
no
just be like,
idea.
what is
yeah.
happening right now?
Long story short, the bottle of wine's opened. The opener they provided was not good, and she profusely apologised, and we're set. So guys, thanks a lot. If you know anyone that would be a part of Geek Bomb or that you think would be a great fit, tell them about it. This is going to be available on the iTunes podcast, so subscribe to that one. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already, because we do this every single week with different guests every time. And like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, blah, 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 blah. Pour yourself a glass and let's have a toast. Cheers, guys. This has been the Geek. This has been.
We've got nothing.
The bomb has been dropped. Cheers. Fuckers.